The Ford 300 from the Homestead Miami Speedway on TNT is brought to you by Ford F-150, built Ford tough, and by Smooth Busch Beer and easy drinking Busch Light. Busch, the proud sponsor of the NASCAR Busch Series. The cars are on the track here at the Homestead Miami Speedway, 300 miles ahead in the Ford 300. Here is the starting grid for today's race. On the pole, Ryan Newman, and next to him, Greg Biffle. Then it's Casey Kane and Carl Edwards. In row 3, John Wood and former series champion David Green.
On the inside of row 4, Mark Martin, Ryan Moore on the outside, Joe Nemechek, Brian Vickers, Anthony Foyt, and Clint Boyer will start 12.
And as you look at the rest of the starting grid for the Ford 300, Wally's on the radio. Who you got, Wally?
All right, let's see if we can get a hold of Carl. Carl Edwards, this is Wally in the booth. You hear me?
Loud and clear, Wally. Just trying to get my steering wheel straight here.
Okay, now, well, hey, you got a shot at this championship tomorrow, and I've got a feeling you're not done spanking these guys in the Busch Series. What kind of car do you have?
Well, you know what? Some of these races we felt like we've been the ones getting spanked, but we've got a great charter Ford. The amazing thing about this car is it's our backup car. The guys did such a great job getting it ready. I honestly couldn't remember why my neck hurt this morning. I forgot all about the wreck. So we got a great car, and I think we got a good chance. This should be top 2 or 3. Ryan Newman's going to be tough.
Now, you think this is going to help you guys out for tomorrow? I mean, I know you have a lot of fun running these Busch races, but is this something you can take over tomorrow to help you try to win that championship?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's a big part of the reason why we're doing this. At least that's what I told Jack to get him to let me drive. I do have a good time, but we also do learn things. And Brad Parrott, our crew chief over here, sticks around sometimes, and that helps a lot too. So we'll see.
Good luck out there.
Hey, thanks a lot, Wally. You guys have a good broadcast.
Thank you, Carl. We will certainly try. Carl Edwards on the pole tomorrow in the Ford 400, one of 4 drivers chasing the Nextel Cup Championship. Let's get the final stories from pit road, starting with Marty Snyder.
Well, Bill, what an incredible 2005 Busch Series season has been for Ryan Newman. This is just, believe it or not, his 9th start, and he can tie a couple of season-long records. He's already tied Carl Edwards with 4 poles, and if he wins today, he will tie Martin Truex Jr. with 6 wins. Ryan told me the car plenty capable of doing that today. Better in race runs, he said, than it was in qualifying. Matt Yoakum.
Greg Biffle starts on the outside of the front row second. He had the second most wins last year with 5, but this year only 1. That's the big goal today. He wants to go to victory lane and close out the year on a high note. Also wants to try to learn something for tomorrow. He said he thought he had a 15th place car. He was surprised that he put it on the outside pole. He said it's that good. Today, Burns.
Matt, Clint Boyer said this week, in order for me to win the championship, I would need a miracle. Well, he got it, starting now 30 positions ahead of Martin Truex Jr. But if he becomes champion, it would be no surprise the way he's run in 2005. 2 wins, 12 top 5 finishes. Kurt's very comfortable behind the wheel now, has grown so much as a driver, and I think would be a fitting champion as well. Alan?
Well, Martin Truex Jr. trying to win a championship, starting last in a backup car. He has not yet practiced, but he's won 3 times in this car. Both he and crew chief Kevin Mannion called it their favorite race car. If this is possible, they seemed almost more relaxed and bubbly than they were earlier in the weekend, knowing now they just have to go race to try and win the big trophy. Bill?
Thanks, Alan. You guys have a great race down there. There have been 34 races in the Busch Series this year, and 25 of them Truex has finished 12th or better. That is his mission today, but it's much more difficult when you're starting last.
He may be relaxed right now that he's sitting in that race car. I'll guarantee you a half hour ago he wasn't.
Right.
This is just, like I said, so much pressure on a guy, but this is the best time, sitting in that race car with it on, ready to go.
But in the race, having to do one thing, try to get up front, trying to win. That's a much better scenario than trying to run 12th.
Pace car heads for pit road. 43 starters coming to the green flag. Ryan Newman on the pole. The championship on the line at Homestead. You're watching live on TNT. Newman leads the first lap as the field tries to get sorted out on this mile-and-a-half track.
Joe Nemechek, 87. Ryan Moore in 81. Side by side, about the 6th, 7th position. And Clint Boyer right behind these fellows alongside Brian Vickers in the 57. Dave, what about the 2-car?
Owner Richard Childress, very interested and involved today with this team, said to Clint Boyer on the radio just before they took the green, now driver, I want you to have fun today. When that green flag comes out, I want to see a big smile on that face.
Right now, and you'll hear this throughout the day as this changes, Clint Boyer is the championship leader, 26 points ahead of Martin Truex Jr. Truex came to Homestead with a 64-point lead.
There we saw the 8 cars. He tries to work his way towards the front. Allen, he's got a long way to go.
And Benny, these are the laps that will make Martin Truex Jr. the most concerned. The biggest issue on his mind today is something, as he phrased it, stupid happening. Somebody spinning out, crashing in front of him, something he can't avoid while he's trapped back in this traffic. He needs to get through some of this traffic in the opening laps cleanly. Then he feels like he can try and find Boyer and race him for the title.
How's his car look?
Looks loose. he did a good job saving that car, but you know, like I said, he's got no laps on this race car on this racetrack, but he's passing cars. But the car got loose there that last lap, and looks like he's a little loose there too. Got trouble in 4.
Car spinning off of 4, the 14 car.
David Strimmy. And last weekend, remember, Strimmy had a couple of...
Got left front flat.
I think he's got a left front tire
Got
flat.
a right front flat for sure.
Yes, he does.
The whole time.
Take a look at it one more time here. Stremme goes around.
Looks like a 1-car accident.
And he's lucky. Early caution here at Homestead. Ryan Newman, the race leader. At 3 o'clock Eastern time over on NBC for the championship event for the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series. NASCAR Nextel Cup Racing from Homestead, Miami, 3 o'clock Eastern tomorrow on NBC, beginning with the Bank of America Countdown to Green. That's our Wendy's race menu.
Boy, oh boy. This was real close for the Truex. Yaley in the 18 car got big time sideways. There he is under Boyer. Gets a little bit sideways. Truex is right there. He's got to jump out of the throttle. Smart move, being careful. He's going to lose a couple of spots, but he'll get them back.
Take another look at it.
And I tell you what, J.J. Yaley just about got both of them. Here when he corrects the car, he almost goes up and gets the 2 car, and there almost in front of the 8 car. And we see Biffle, the 66, on the outside of, well, not so close.
Oh, there we go. Bump drafting here at Homestead.
Man, oh man. See, that was Biffle saying to Newman, come on, man, you know I had position on the outside. Why'd you pull up in front of me like that for?
Is that what he was saying?
That's what he was saying. No, again.
That was a clean version of what he was saying, but Marty.
How about you guys said that Ryan Newman is hard to pass? Biffle finally pulls it off. He was behind him, and right when he was doing that, said, man, this is a lot harder than I thought it would be.
Ryan,
Yeah, it's not over yet.
sure isn't.
Look out, Wall.
And this is one of the reasons fans and drivers like this track. A lot of room to race and variable banking, different places to pass.
And I'll tell you what, they're scaring that wall to death on turn 4. A lot of these cars are.
Take a look. Newman's
Trying to come back.
Now.
Newman led the first 25 laps. Biffle led the last one.
Newman's going to pull up, but he's not going to have enough getting off turn 4 to pull this pass off.
Now into 1.
Biffle really wants to get away from Newman, get some more air on the rear of his spoiler. He's not in that clean air we talk about yet, because Newman is there worrying him.
That's Todd
Now he's
Bodine.
beside him.
How about Newman on the bottom of the racetrack? About to take the lead. Meanwhile, the lap car of 34, Todd Bodine, right in front of these two.
Newman's got to be careful down there on the low side. That's what got Yaley loose. When you're running side by side, the guy in the bottom of the racetrack, if he's real close to the car beside him, takes the air off the spoiler and it gets sideways.
The one advantage that Ryan Newman is having in the 39 car, there is a huge distance between the 66 and himself.
But if the 66 wanted to, he could drive down on top of the 39 and make them loose.
Yeah, if Greg Biffle, you're right, if he would just move down closer to the 39, oh, he would make it so loose. You know what? And these guys running side by side like this, you would think the 6 car of Casey Kane would drive up and pass them both, but you know what? They're running as fast as Casey Kane side by side.
They have done a lot of work on this track over the years, and this is what they wanted to promote. More side-by-side racing, a greater ability to pass.
Well, they certainly have it today.
Still trying on the bottom, but Biffle should have the momentum coming off of 4 this time.
It's Johnny Benson in the 67.
39's got a big pony.
Let's see. Biffle led the last lap by 4/100ths of a second over Ryan Newman.
Newman's got a very strong engine to be able to run like that on the low side, lap after lap.
This is so good. And Bill, you're right. This is why they went to all this trouble to fix this racetrack, so you could do this.
And you have to give track president Curtis Gray and his staff a lot of credit for doing the work here. And you don't want to oversell the track because you don't know if it's going to go on forever. But this is still good racing, and this is what they wanted to try and give the guys an opportunity to do. Here comes Kane.
What I want to thank Curtis Gray for was to go to a parent company and beg for the money to do it. Now there's Casey Kane.
Well, Biffle has the lead for right now. Newman's running second. Here comes Casey Kane. Mark Martin's behind him. Then it's Harvick at Homestead.
So 31 laps gone of the 200 at the Homestead Miami Speedway, the very last NASCAR Busch Series race of the season. Remember to keep your comments and queries coming into the forum on motorstv.co.uk. And it's all looking rather good for Martin Truex Jr. right now. The Chevrolet driver stands in 15th place, having moved up from 42nd in this untested backup car of his after he smashed into the wall during qualifying. Clint Bowyer, his only rival for the title, is in 12th place. And there's less than a second between the two undoubted stars of this series so far. But it's Greg Biffle at the moment who has a slender lead over Casey Kane and Ryan Newman. And Biffle, he has bigger fish to fry really tomorrow when he goes in the Nextel Cup. He's one of 4 men, along with Edwards, Johnson and Stewart, involved in the chase for the championship. I can tell you he's just dropped to 2nd position as I speak. Casey Kane has moved into the lead. But Biffle's getting some valuable practice out on this track before the big season finale of the Nextel Cup. 12th place or better, remember, will be enough for Martin Truex Jr. He's now in 13th and in fact has overtaken Clint Bowyer. So Bowyer's title hopes fading as we speak. He's now in 14th position. Truex Jr. absolutely flying, while things not entirely going Bowyer's way right now. Truex Jr., the fastest man on the circuit at the moment. His last lap, 166 miles an hour. Bowyer running in the 163s. So Truex Jr. liable to pull away from him if that continues. 64 points the gap in the championship race, and the gap out on the track right now extending with every lap, and that spells bad news for Clint Bowyer's title hopes. But there's still an awfully long way to go in Miami.
Casey Kane is the new leader at Homestead Miami Speedway in the Ford 300, the championship event for the NASCAR Busch Series. Here's the lead change.
I'm telling you, his car looks so good. I watched him in qualifying. The thing looked like it was pinned to the racetrack. Here he goes by Biffle.
That 40 car is Carlos Contreras. And Matt Kenseth in the 17 car for the second time today off turn 4 just about gets in the wall. He goes up, and just kisses it ever so gently.
Meanwhile, Martin Truex Jr. trying to catch Clint Boyer in the 2. That's Menard in the 11. There's Boyer in the 2. More lap traffic.
Wow. A lot of close calls for these two guys already.
And we saw Mark Martin in a side-by-side battle with Ryan Newman, and it looked like Mark got loose. Truex Jr. has made his way to 11 after starting at the back of the field in a backup car.
And Clint Boyer's back to 17th.
Let's take you through the field. Casey Kane is the race leader. We start with Dave Burns.
And he's been very comfortable on this racetrack this weekend. We talked to his crew this morning. They told us how Casey searched the low line and the high line.
Trouble.
And we've got trouble.
That's Ashton Lewis Jr. It's Elliott Sadler that avoided him.
Adrian Fernandez in the 5 car down on the bottom with some damage.
Boy, and this will be the end of a very disappointing season for Ashton Lewis Jr.
And the 5
I was
team.
going to say, you could say the 5 bunch too.
The whole team. These guys just going to the corner, and
That's what they talked about just a moment ago.
exactly, they were too close going into the corner. The car on the bottom, I'm sure, got loose, and exactly what happened. Why don't they listen?
They have a different channel on their radio right now than ours. Second caution of the day. Fernandez has had some trouble adjusting
to these heavier cars.
Yes, he sure has. He's had a good attitude about it, but they have had to fix a lot of cars in that 5 shop. Kane, Biffle, Newman, Martin, and Kevin Harvick, the top 5.
Well, all right, a lot of cars are sure glad this caution flag came out because they need to make some adjustments on these cars.
Here's a look at the drivers racing tomorrow to finish 11th in the Nextel Cup season point standings. Jeff Gordon, Jamie McMurray, Elliott Sadler, and Kevin Harvick. The driver who finishes 11th will earn a $1 million payday and a trip to the stage in New York. And Home 123 has selected one lucky grand prize winner of the Home 123 Pay Off Your Mortgage sweepstakes. Log on to home123.com today and watch Jamie McMurray announce who the winner is.
All right, on board our Fusion pace car. Both the cars involved in the accident have gone to pit road, and meanwhile pit road is closed.
That's
still.
Casey Kane, isn't it?
I thought it was. Casey came down the access road, but pit road is closed.
That's not going to be good. Can he come? Nope.
Nope.
He's committed.
He's committed now.
Ooh, that's going to hurt.
The only time you can come off that access road is if you enter it under green and the caution comes out. So this is a mistake.
There's a light that's flashing red, which means that the pit road is closed.
So Casey Kane come to his pit stall. Dave, what's up?
Well, they have not talked about it since I clicked over to their channel and started listening. They are going to go down on the track bar. This car was very, very loose, even though Casey had driven to the lead. Now they're going to be, I believe, scored at the end of the longest line once we get going here if they're penalized for entering under a closed pit road.
Well, they're certainly going to be penalized. Ray Evernham, car owner.
And Trip Bruce on his left-hand side, our right, the crew chief on that 6 car.
And Sammy Johns
had just told them the bad news. Pit road was closed.
Now he's got the go signal at the end of pit road. Got to be careful because the track workers are entering from back there. So now the road that gets him back around turns 1 and 2, dumps you out on the back stretch. Now pit road is open. And this will be a very busy place.
But pit road is open, but still, even on the access road, you can't pass the pace car. Watch Greg Biffle as he tries to keep distance, the same spacing between the pace car on the racetrack.
The pace car going 55 miles per hour, pit road speed 45 miles per hour. They come to pit road, we go to Allen.
Martin Truex Jr. in an unpracticed backup car, last to 11th before this pit stop, Bill. Going to make an air pressure adjustment in the left rear tire, 4-tire change, trying to get his car a little more front-end grip to cut better in the center of the corners. Matt?
Top of your screen, Carl Edwards still has the issue with the mirror. Can't see out the back. Also has an issue with the tight race car. They're talking about pulling a spring rubber as the rear changer slips coming around the car, slips in the fuel. Talking about pulling out. Yes, he does. Pull the spring rubber out. The left rear, Dave.
Bottom of your screen, Clint Boyer was chattering the tires so tight coming off the corners. Gil Martin, the crew chief, said if it's that bad, we're going to raise the track bar and take a spring rubber out of the left rear. It's going to take a little extra time. Marty.
Well, Dave, new leader Greg Biffle said, you know, the car never really got better in clean air, so it was still too tight. They went up one round on the track bar. Bill?
The race off of pit road. We'll sort out the running order when we come back to Homestead on Championship Saturday. No signal here at Homestead. Take a look at our Aaron's pit summary.
Greg Biffle lost 3 spots in those pit stops. Truex gained 3, and Boyer lost 1.
The first 29 cars in the running order came to pit road. Let's check in with Dave Burns.
With Trip Bruce now. Trip, you guys pitted as a leader a little early. What happened?
Just a little confusion. We've had a little confusion about the entrance to pit road back there since the beginning, but I think we figured it out now. You know, mistake on my part, bad communication between Casey and I, and knowing when pit road was open, when it's not. We'll pay better attention now. We'll get them back.
They have a strong race car. They can come back through the field, guys.
And that'll be something to watch because you like the 6th car, but now he's got work to do.
Got a lot of work to do.
Ryan Newman won the race off of pit road, followed by Mark Martin. Then it was Biffle, Brian Vickers, and Carl Edwards. Truex Jr. came out 6th. And Clint Boyer is back in 16th.
Just not sure, Penny. I mean, when you hit that pit, you see the light and the flagman waving a flag. I don't understand why he still hit it.
We see the light flash in red, and the flagman on the left-hand side is waving. It appears to be a red flag signifying pit road is closed. The penalty, you have to start at the end of the longest line. A huge hole that Casey Kane has dug in that number 6 car.
Well, Truex Jr. got through the field. We'll see if Casey Kane can do it.
Sadler way off the pace there on the bottom of the 90 car.
I'm talking about a vibration in that 90 car. It looks like it isn't any better.
Casey Kane 29th when he took the restart green flag.
Truex, 6th spot. Allen, 8th, doing pretty well.
Yeah, about the only hiccup they've had so far all day, Wally, is Martin Truex Jr. is having a little trouble hearing his crew chief Kevin Mannion on the radio. No problem hearing the spotter Joey Meyer up on the roof, who, by the way, has had to help him around a couple of things so far in this race. But they've just added a little booster antenna on top of their pit box to try and help Truex hear the crew chief on the radio more easily.
Did you see Truex blow by Carl Edwards?
That car came off the truck about 11:30 this morning. Never turned a lap, and look at him go.
That's a championship caliber team right there.
Exactly right. Truex crashed in qualifying for the Busch Series, 11 o'clock this morning. Truex, one of the early cars out, crashed. That's a backup car, Alan.
You guys are talking about championship team right there?
Yes, sir.
During that last caution, Martin Truex came on the radio after a long pause of silence, and he said, "We're going to win this thing."
And he's talking about the race.
That's right. I don't think he was just talking about the big trophy.
Well, you can get your driver's confidence back pretty quick when you have a good race car underneath him. That's what he has right now.
Truex, the defending series champion, going for 2 in a row, moves to the Nextel Cup Series next season. Carl Edwards right behind him. Then David Green. During qualifying, David Green, the former series champion, said his car would be good in this race this afternoon.
And it is.
It's 5th, 6th, and 7th. Back up front, Ryan Newman won the race off of pit road, and the car looks a little stronger. Mark Martin's going to try and chase him down. Biffle third, Vickers fourth, Truex Jr. fifth through the field when we come back to Homestead.
We're on board with Kevin Harvick there. Harvick currently in 8th position in the number 21 Chevrolet. Martin Truex Jr. blitzed past Carl Edwards and is now into the top 5. All of you in our forum think that Truex will win the championship. But will he win this race here at the Homestead Miami Speedway? About quarter distance now. One or two shout outs to give. Carlos would like to say hello to Maxine and Peter watching in South London. Our birthday boy Simon Topham gets birthday greetings from his friend Martin Buchan. Do keep all your comments flooding in. What do you think of Clint Bowyer's chances? He's in 16th place now. Barely registering on our screens really. As we follow Harvick round, the nearest car to him is David Green, some distance in front. That gap in front of you translates to almost a second. And that's a fair bit in NASCAR racing. Truex Jr., I can tell you, just over 3 seconds behind our race leader, Ryan Newman, who led early and has now led for 34 laps in total. Biffle is second and the fastest man on the racetrack right now. But perhaps what counts is the 6.5 seconds between Truex Jr. and Bowyer. That will be absolutely fatal to Bowyer's title chances. He will finish second in the championship no matter what happens here today. But he'd love to go down fighting. Harvick closing up on Carl Edwards now, really picking up his pace. Edwards has been overtaken by Green, but they're still behind Truex Jr. in 5th. Ryan Newman still our race leader from Greg Biffle, Mark Martin and Brian Vickers. As Harvick goes for it, we rejoin the race coverage.
Police forces, bodies protecting, prosecuting, law and order. The people possess a fundamental right for law and order. Get your law and order tomorrow starting at 6 on TNT.
55 laps complete. Greg Biffle trying to take the lead away from Ryan Newman again.
Well, he got a run off of turn 2 that time, Benny. I mean, he's going to pull it off going into 3 maybe.
And this is not a replay, folks. This is once again a terrific battle between 66 and 39. But I don't know that Biffle is cleared in, but he's going to...
Yeah, you're clear, you're clear. Oh.
He wasn't listening again.
He gave Ryan Newman room, and guess what? He filled the hole in that 39 car.
Newman stays up on that high side. He gets the thing wound up, and he is fast down the backstretch.
Mark Martin runs 3rd, was 2nd when we went to break.
And Biffle, hey, make it loose.
Wow.
That was a slide job.
Remember, Biffle gave Newman a nudge earlier in the race.
Now, this is what we saw about 25 laps ago when Newman, the 39 car, got on the inside, and they ran 5 or 6 laps side by side like that.
Man, this is great stuff right here.
Casey Kane has worked his way up to 18th. Marty.
Well, it takes about 10 laps for Greg Biffle's car to come in, but once it does, he's able to get around Ryan Newman. On the radio, Ryan Newman here's Roger Penske a day earlier than he would normally be, and the car is a little bit tight. Alan?
Martin Truex Jr., look for him to come to pit road under Green. Just reported a vibration on his car. He just called in, said, gotta come in this time. Look for him to hit that access road, head at the end of the backstretch there.
Anytime that you see those guys jump 3 or 4 spots on a pit stop.
4,000 a second, all the way around the corner. 4,000 a second. You don't give.
You're always concerned about loose lug nuts on that left rear tire.
And it normally takes, 5 to 10 laps before you start feeling that vibration, and you know what it is. Alan?
Well, remember that lightning fast pit stop they had, Wally, last time. Obviously, the first thing you think of is perhaps a loose wheel on that stop because they gained several positions. They'll look at the lug holes on these wheels that came off the car very carefully to see what's up.
And they knew what it was because they only changed the right side, so they found it right off the bat.
Leaders going by. Biffle and Ryan Newman.
You see the 8 car going a lap down. I just don't understand why they didn't change 4 while they were in there.
Well, the only thing I can think is that maybe to get back on the racetrack so you're in a position to be the lucky dog. Maybe they knew that position. Well, that's what I'm saying. They saw the wheel as soon as they came in. That's why I think they dusted off changing all 4.
Okay.
But that extra few seconds may put them 2 laps down.
Yeah, well, you're right.
There's Boyer going by.
A lap in front of the 8 car. So Truex goes back to the 31st position. Boyer is 16th. Now then, the job for Clint Boyer.
Now, come on, tell me.
Want to know if that fixed it.
Right now, True.
We're lucky, dog.
Right, that's just what I was going to say. They are the first car 1 lap down. He would be racing Kenny Wallace in the 22 car for that. Let's check in with Dave.
Bill, when Casey Kane went through that pack, you see him just in front of the 8 car now. They said to Clint Boyer, why don't you attach yourself to the 6 car? He may want to attach himself to the 8 as he now goes through, but the pressure tires will probably prevent him from doing that. No emotion from the 2 crew when they saw on their monitors and watched before their eyes when the 8 come down pit road.
Because they realize they've got to get the 2 car running better. He's got to get up front if he's going to do anything about beating the 8 car.
Ooh, Truex with a very fast car trying to work through traffic.
Alan, they find anything on those tires?
Not really, BP. They've been looking at this right front tire and at the lug holes where the studs come through that would show some form of routing out or being misshapen if the tire had been left loose. Nothing stands out in looking at that right now.
Alan, he just said something's wrong with my car, so they obviously did not fix the problem.
Martin Truex, championship leader.
Jake really bad in the corner before. Good now.
See, Benny, I thought they only changed 2 because they saw the problem on the right side. And it's usually the left rear, isn't it?
It's usually the left rear because as they come off the corner and accelerate, it's trying to lose.
Really good now, but
Feels really good now.
Yeah, what he said. He's talking like the problem is gone.
Truex is... That's Matt Kenseth in front of him. Truex 31st in the running order. 19 points in front of Clint Boyer.
See, now what's happened now, the leader has started lapping cars. He has gone by the 36 of Tim Sauter. The caution flag comes out now. Tim Sauter is the lucky dog, not Mark Truex Jr.
Right, the way they're spread out, it's a moving target every other lap. Because you're right, Benny. Every time Biffle passes somebody, that puts another car in between him or Truex and whoever is a lap down to be the lucky dog. So right now, he just got to run hard.
So Allen continues to check on the wheels and the tires of the 8 car. Martin Truex Jr. Biffle leads the race. Truex still leads the championship. Phil, DJ, and Michael Campbell battle it out in the PGA Grand Slam of Golf, live from Hawaii. Coverage begins this Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern on TNT. Homestead Miami Speedway, Homestead, Florida. Elliott Sadler, the lucky dog. Check on pit road with Allen.
With Kevin Mannion, the crew chief for Martin Truex Jr. First question, final diagnosis on the tire and the cause of the pit stop.
Well, the right front tire changer came up to me right after the stop and said there was one cross-threaded, and he went back and hit it. So as soon as Martin said something, we knew we might have had a problem. We already knew something was alarmed there. And when he came in, I looked at all 10 lug nuts on the left side, so we opted just to do right sides, put us in good position, missed the lucky dog, stayed out, and but it looks like the right front was loose, and before it got bad and we lost the hub or something, we just come in and fixed it.
Now, what was that you just told him about starting in the back?
Just be patient. You know, he did a good job in the first time out, and you know, a lot of people are loose and getting squirrely. So just pass cars one at a time and use his head. That's all.
All right, Kevin, thanks. He just told him before we went up to talk to him, he said, we've done this before already today, so we know we can do it again.
Allen will restart 27th, and just to clarify, under the previous caution, David Green, the race leader, did stop, but was fuel only. That's how he got the lead. Green in that 27 car. And it's Ryan Newman and Mark Martin. Kenny Wallace on the inside, a lap down.
I don't think David's going to be able to hang on to that lead for too long.
Boyer restarted 17th.
As a matter of fact, the half lap with a 39 car behind him. 39 of Ryan Newman goes in front. Here comes Mark Martin on the outside of David Green. Meanwhile, Biffle on the outside of Sauter, battle for fourth.
Battle's all over the track right now. And Truex will try and work his way forward from 27th.
Man, they are stacked up back there.
Don't you love that shot when you look up in the corner, you see cars 2, 3, 4 wide?
This bunch coming at us.
Truex gained 3 positions on that lap. Look at this.
Yeah, meanwhile, on the bottom, here comes Casey Kane in that 6 car. Going by Matt Kenseth in the 17, John Wood in 47.
This is back around 13th.
Car. Ooh, Nemechek, see that?
Yes.
87 car got loose.
Brian Vickers in 57 trying to go by Johnny Sauter. That's the battle for 5th. Meanwhile, up front for 3rd is Greg Biffle trying to take it from David Green, and does. The 66-27, they're running nose to tail. Their team cars, some Clarence Brewers, Bruco Motorsports out of Kentucky.
So Green from 1st to 4th. There's Biffle.
You kind of expected that. I mean, Green should settle in here and stay in the top 10.
And he's got one more set of tires. Alan, what are you working on?
Hey, you see that red and white car in the picture right there, Bill?
Sure do.
That is Denny Hamlin's 20 car. He, like Truex, started at the back of this race in an unpracticed backup car after a qualifying crash. He just took 7th place. Wow.
It's been a tough day for him, hasn't it, Alan?
Yeah, he also crashed his Nextel Cup car in qualifying, too. Nice confidence rebuilder for him.
Yes. He was shaking his head after that crash in Nextel Cup qualifying. That was a hard one. So he's in a backup car tomorrow as well.
And that 58 car is Clay Rogers from Mooresville, North Carolina. Not Regan Smith that you normally see driving that car.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, that's great stuff. Johnny Sauter on the outside there in a 1 car.
Vickers in the middle now. Here comes Denny Hamlin on the inside. Wow.
Meanwhile, here comes Mark Martin in the 9 car on the inside of Ryan Newman, battle for the lead.
Mark's car has been strong. Has not been able to wrestle the lead away, though, but he's going to work on it, Alan.
This might be the Busch race that Mark Martin has been in where he has gotten the least attention because of all the championship stuff going on. But he's going to get up there and try and wrestle for the lead. Mark started this race in the 7th spot, moved up to 3rd in the early going, lost a couple of spots, moved back to 3rd. Now he's trying to get the top spot. Marty?
Oh, caution. Denny Hamlin.
Oh, Casey Kane.
Guys diving for position.
And Casey Kane, that 6 car with nowhere to go. You know, we keep talking about track position when we do our stand-up about how important qualifying is, because stuff happens back in the pack that you don't want to be involved in.
In your windshield when you're in the back of the pack.
Exactly. So, Casey Kane pitted at the wrong time, had to start in the rear. The result, he's involved in a crash.
He pitted when pit road was closed.
Kind of like now.
It doesn't much matter now.
Okay, go to the replay wizards.
It's a 20 car underneath the 1 car. Does he get too close and get loose? Survey says.
Did he catch the apron there, maybe?
No, I think it's just like Wallace said, I think it's a little too close.
Alan?
He said that that one car took the air off of his car, and around it went.
So
You agree with that, Wall?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you pinch a guy down on the bottom of the racetrack, that's a great way to get the spot because you can turn them sideways.
And Reed Sorensen, the 41 car, also involved in the accident. On board with a discount tire Dodge. Reed, you're going to wreck right in front of you. I got a statement.
Clear. Say hello to the 32. Jason Leffler. Casey Kane.
And in front of you, stay high, stay high, stay high. Get low, get low, get low.
So Casey Kane got it restarted and then tried to get to pit road. And, oh, Jason Leffler got him again.
Was trying to get back on the racetrack and made contact again.
So, Wally, you were right.
About what?
About the air being taken off. No, I just wanted to, I had to get that in.
Kills you, doesn't it?
It hurts. But I got a couple months to recover after tomorrow.
Oh, I'll call you.
Thanks. Casey Kane, Denny Hamlin, Jason Leffler, Reed Sorensen all involved in it. Clint Boyer runs 11th. Martin Truex Jr. up to 15th. Mark Martin scored as the race leader at Homestead. Still under caution here at Homestead, on board with Clint Boyer. Watch and listen.
Spin in front of you, spin in front of you, drifting up high, ease away back, start coming down. Watch him, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Nice job, buddy, nice job, caution down.
That's how you do it.
That's one of the dramatic moments here today. And fans, on Friday, December 2nd, TNT will bring you the NASCAR Nextel Cup award ceremony. And during the ceremony, we'll announce the winner of this season's most dramatic moment. Voting for the most dramatic moment begins Monday. You can text NASCAR to 7777 to place your vote, or you can just do it at NASCAR.com. Well done. Thank you. Working on track cleanup here. Mark Martin, the race leader, then Ryan Newman and Greg Biffle. We check with Dave.
We're in the middle of a... Hey, guys. We're actually at Casey Kane's Hollow right now. This is going to be very interesting because the gate's going back here. And, you know, we have to choose above or below. So Casey's going to come out here in just a second. And Case, you know, they came to us real quick here, and you can see we're in a perilous situation here. But talk about that wreck there. Obviously nothing you're doing.
Well, I couldn't see really what happened. I know the 20 spun. I saw him spin, and I was pretty close to there. And I tried to get turned down, and my car spun around too, just trying to get woed up. But disappointing. You know, I think we had a better car than that. We just got back there. I went down pit road when it was closed. I was told to go down there, and then I did, and I didn't look at the flagman. You know, I should have made sure it was open, and so I got to take blame for that. But it's too bad. I think we had a shot at running up front if we wouldn't have ever fell back like that.
And I know we're worried about first and second in points today, but I heard you guys calculating and then talking about actually getting back out of here, trying to stay in the top 20.
Yeah, I think this car could run, finish in the top 20 in points after a long season for them, but a good season at the same time. And so if we can, we'll get back out. It's a good points race for the fans. For those other two guys, I'm not sure where it's at, but you got to be careful around the 2 and the 8. I was today for sure.
Great, thanks, Casey. Appreciate it. Casey's okay. Going to try to get back out in the race. The guys are banging on the car real hard right now, guys. Lots of big sledgehammers.
Thanks, Dave. Clay Rogers, the lucky dog. Mark Martin will bring him to the green flag.
And why top 20 in points so important is to go the banquet. I mean, to get points, money from the point standings. 30 car owner points are guaranteed a spot in 2005. So they're solidly in that. But to finish the top 20, they get more money. Trying to drive away. Meanwhile, Biffle has closed up on his back bumper of 39.
Green also clears the lap traffic.
I'll tell you what, that 39.66 has been a terrific battle all day. Meanwhile, in the back,
there's Martin Truex Jr. in the 8. Clint Boyer in the 2. Boyer is 10th. Allen on car 8.
This is unbelievable, Bill. I think by the end of the day, if he's able to come up with an up-front finish, the car count that Martin Truex Jr. has passed all day, Well, that's tight. Is going to equal a very high number. I think the important thing for him now, he can see the 2 car again.
And he waves to thank Ryan Moore. More car.
And you know, the 81 car is his teammate.
Yeah.
He really wanted the boy to cut him some slack because he got very, very close to it. Turns 1, almost spun out. Dave?
And Clint Boyer has noticed that 81 car is a team car to the 8 and has been very annoyed at how Ryan Moore has been, well, I guess in the way because he's fast today. Ryan Moore is a good race car.
Yeah, well, he's in the way for everybody. At least it's not, you know, he's being equal to his teammate and the rest of the field.
And to defend Ryan Moore, he's trying to show somebody he has ability, that he deserves to be in the NASCAR Busch Series.
Harvick might have been trying to help out Clint Boyer there, but Truex wasn't having any of it. 3 wide, Marty.
Well, Bill, add to this mix Kevin Harvick, who's in that sandwich right there in the 21 car, who's frustrated because earlier on lap 69, came to pit road in 5th. They had a bad stop, came out 22nd. So he knows he has a top 5 car trying to work his way back up to the front.
We watch the race, check again with Dave.
And Denny Hamlin's car was spinning into the wall to sort of get this thing started. What happened, Denny?
One of those deals where we were extremely fast. We had the fastest car on the racetrack by far. It's really tough to run side by side, but you can't have somebody deliberately take air off of you. That's what's going to happen. And it tore up a lot of race cars.
And after some trouble you've had this weekend, including with your Busch Series car, you thought you might have had a winning race car.
We really did. It was amazing how fast this thing was. Untested, unrun. But it's a shame you're talking to me here. If it wasn't here, we were going to be in victory lane today.
A lot of confidence in this young driver, Bill.
That's Harvick in the 21, Boyer in the 2, and Truex in the 8.
And Harvick just cut the 2 car a lot of slack. He was going to go by him. Team player right now. He's going to make it tough for the 8
Yeah, I was going to say that's exactly his next mission, is to make it tough for the 8 to get by. Tough day for Denny Hamlin. He's wrecked 3 race cars in 1 day.
Carlos Contreras, the 40 car, is a lap down, but meanwhile, no, he's in the wall.
Just brushed it.
The 8 car, you're right, he brushed the wall.
You can see the damage behind the right rear tire.
That's what exactly Harvick wanted to see.
Be patient with these guys, please.
That's the 8-team radio. Alan.
Bill, they've been spending about the last 3 laps trying to calm Martin Truex down, telling him, you heard some of the end of that conversation. Spotter Joey Meyer telling him, take it easy. Crew Chief Kevin Mannion telling him to take a breath. Obviously, Kevin Harvick racing him very hard, making it difficult for Truex to get around. And Martin might have pressed the issue just a little bit, you think?
Alan, let's go back and take a look at it.
Well, he's on the outside of the 40 car, Contreras.
Yeah, I think he saw an opportunity to maybe get by him and the 21 car, but he just ran out of room.
And he got up outside. He jumped the cushion in racing terms, got up in that yellow and that gray stuff, and almost bought the wall.
And right now, you know, Truex is 56 points ahead right now in this championship, so he can afford to just be a little patient right now.
But he wants to win the race.
Well, he wants to win a race, and he sees the 2 car in his windshield. I think he'd be more comfortable if the 2 was behind him.
This is for second. Greg Biffle, Ryan Newman. They have been door to door almost since about lap 26. Caution is out for the 40 car. Apparently, he's definitely got a left front flat, and a report that he has brushed the wall. So Carlos has been getting an education today.
Bring it to us. Bring it to us.
Mark Martin is the leader. And this will give the 8 bunch an opportunity to work on that car after Truex brushed the wall. No lucky dog in this situation. Something to think about for tomorrow. You can come in with that small cushion a guy like Tony Stewart has for tomorrow, like Truex Jr. had coming in here. But Benny, you've talked about this so often. It is so hard to win these races, and so many little things can go wrong, causing huge problems.
Well, that's right. Truex and Tony Stewart. The problem they have is they've got to run the distance. Truex has to run 300 miles. If something happens to his car, he falls out 1 lap short. it may be that Clint Boyer can beat him for the championship.
Right now as the field heads for pit road, Truex with a 56-point lead over Clint Boyer. Boyer in 9th, Truex in 11th. Alan?
Well, Mark Martin is going to come in. They are going to take a half of a round out of the left rear. So you see the wrench going in, the left rear wedge bolt. They make that adjustment, a 4-tire stop, and they'll send Mark on his way. Dave?
The 2-car of Clint Boyer said, you know what, guys? You fixed the car getting into the corner. Do not hurt that. It is tight up off the corner. Air pressure into the right rear tire. Alan?
Had a little radio problem. Martin Truex Jr. could not talk to the team after that caution flag, so they told him to pit when everybody else did. They pulled out the right side fenders, changed 4 tires, but don't know if they made any adjustments or not because he couldn't call for any, Marty.
Oh, an interesting call from Greg Biffle, the driver. 2 left side tires on the stop for this team. 2 left side scuff tires, either tires they pulled off earlier in the race that had 20 laps on them, and they should actually match the right side tires.
So some different strategies playing out on pit road. We'll sort out the running order when we come back. You're watching the NASCAR 4-300 on TNT. Propane Exceptional Energy by Wrangler, makers of Wrangler 5-star premium denim jeans, and by new Reese's Big Top. Spectacular night here in Homestead, but not for Brian Vickers. Just had to pit under green.
Now he just has to hope and pray that all the other cars will have to make their pit stops on the green flag so he can get back in this race. Marty?
Well, BP, unfortunately, when they just didn't need it, they had a pretty bad stop. It was a slow stop for the 57 bunch. Loose end, tied off chassis-wise. I can live with that loose end. Tied off is what's hurting me. Half pound on the right rear tire for Brian Vickers. Now they hope it goes green for the rest of the race.
So up front, Greg Biffle leads, and that rocket man, Ryan Newman, is looking right at him from second.
Catch some slower cars, put them a lap down. Justin Labonte, 44, directly in front of them. It looks like Labonte's running exactly the same spot.
Ryan Vickers fell to 26th, 2 laps down. Update on Kenseth from Matt.
Had a great run going, Bill. Something amiss in the motor. They're telling him to pull it to the front of the pit box. That way they won't block anybody when green flag stops start for the other leaders. They're going to check and see maybe if something is off, like a plug wire or something like that, but they're saying possible something definitely amiss in the motor.
So Matt Kenseth currently runs 5th, but off the pace.
Battle for the lead. Here comes Newman on the inside of Biffle. Biffle run up on the 44 car in exactly the same tracks, lost some time, and here comes Newman.
It's Justin Labonte in the 44.
Biffle's going to have to make it 3 wide maybe here. No.
Going to get pinched in behind him again.
And Labonte in the 44 trying his best to stay on the lead lap.
Right, that's what he's fighting for. He's going to be knocked off the lead lap here.
And Newman's trying to pinch him behind the 44 car. Trying to keep Biffle blocked.
Marty?
Yeah, the problem, guys, is that Ryan Newman's car is too tight from the middle of the corner off, so it just doesn't work from the middle of the corner off, and it's hard to keep it on the bottom. But if you use a pick like that, it's easier to take the lead. These guys are about 14 laps for making green flag stops.
Labonte get loose right there?
Yeah, and Biffle had to get out of the throttle just for that second. That's all that Newman needed. Get that spot.
So Ryan Newman goes back to the front.
And J.J. Yaley, I think, has just blown up down the front straightaway. Caution flag is out, just ruins Brian Vickers' night.
Well, what ruined their night was not pitting back on lap 60, not pitting since lap 69. Their strategy blew up on them.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, you roll the dice.
Oh, left rear tires flat.
The yellow would have come out 15 laps ago. They would have been heroes. Well, yeah, that's what a lot of this racing is all about.
That's what we'll be saying all day tomorrow.
Yeah.
So Yaley will have to limp it back to pit road on the inner liner.
Kevin Moss, the flagman for the NASCAR Busch Series flag, showing all the competitors the yellow flag.
Kind of a break for Kenseth, though. If it is a plug wire.
Yep.
Because he's still sitting in 6th spot.
Justin Labonte will be the lucky dog in the 44 car. And pit road will be open this time. These guys will get one more crack to make their car better for the final 47 or so laps.
One down on the right rear jack screw. And half pound in the right rear.
Martin Truex Jr.'s crew.
Trying to loosen his car up.
Put a light half in that right rear. One down, Mark. One down on the track, not the track bar, the top bolt.
They'll work on the chassis. And Newman leads the parade down the access road toward pit road at 45 miles an hour. Let's start with Allen.
Well, you heard all the adjustments that Martin Truex's team is planning on that car. Don't know if you caught the one about knocking the rear spoiler off. Watch on the back of that middle box on the left. They're going to try and bump the rear spoiler up a little bit, give him a little more downforce on the back of that car to help him in these final laps.
Dave? Clint Boyer needs his second miracle of the day. He hopes that comes in the form of a wedge adjustment in the right rear, an air pressure adjustment as well to help his car turn. Marty.
Leader Ryan Newman in the very first pit stall at the very end of pit road. The car's a little bit tight, he said, but I'm afraid to make any changes to it. So all they're going to do is put one piece of tape on the front grille. That's that black piece of tape. They just put it on. There you see the second one going on. Ryan will win the race off pit road.
So Newman, with that pit stall, wins the race off of pit road. 46 to go in the Ford 300 at Homestead.
So 45 laps to go when we go green for the run-in to the conclusion of the 2005 NASCAR Busch Series season. JJ Yeley's mishaps, good news for the rest of the field. A chance to fine-tune their cars, make those tire changes, and set themselves for the long run-in into the finish. Still yellow at the moment, but when we restart, it will be Ryan Newman out in front from Greg Biffle and Paul Menard and Kevin Harvick and Joe Nemechek, with Clint Bowyer up in 8th place, 4 places clear of his championship rival Martin Truex Jr., but that won't be enough for Bowyer to claim the title, even if he manages to maintain that gap all the way through to the 200th and final lap. 7 cautions in all so far. So we have a look at the pace car leading these drivers round. Pitch black around the Homestead Miami Speedway now. We started off in daylight. The lights have come into their own now. Don't forget to get involved on the motorstv.co.uk forum. www.motorstv.co.uk for all your NASCAR Busch Series comments. Just to recap, Martin Truex Jr. has to finish in the top 12 to win the title, his second title in a row. At least Clint Bowyer is doing better this year than he managed last year. He said he needed a miracle to deprive Truex Jr. of the title, but in 2004 he had a very unhappy experience on the Homestead Miami Speedway. He finished in 39th position, only managed to complete 98 of the 202 laps. The gap was down to under 30 points after round 29 in Dover, now 64 points. And Truex Jr. seemingly on his way to the title, but it only takes a second for things to change in NASCAR, especially when we go green.
156 laps are complete here in the Ford 300. Pre-race ceremonies got going a little early because there's some rain coming. Hasn't gotten here yet. Lap 6. David Stremme around. Brought out the caution. Lap 41. Contact on the track. Adrian Fernandez and Ashton Lewis Jr. Martin Truex Jr. had a bad vibration. had to come to pit road. They knew they had probably not gotten all the lugs tight on one wheel. Had to come back, got it worked on, got his lap back.
J.J. Yaley in the wall on 74-84. We see the 20 car of Denny Hamlin go around. Big car, 4-car crash as the 6 car. Casey Kane involved, also the 41 and the 32.
Kane got himself back there after pitting when pit road was closed. J.J. Yaley just brought out the caution, the 7th of the day. Now the field is doubled up. Be 43 laps to go when they get the green.
That's Vickers sitting there, tail end of the lead lap, front of the line. The 57 car on the outside. So he was in the same position that Truex was in a little bit earlier.
So we'll be trying to hang on to that position and hope we get another caution. Ryan Newman, the race leader. Truex Jr., the championship leader, and car 8 is 8th, and Boyer's right behind him in 9th. 43 laps to go in the season. Then somebody gets the championship trophy.
Vickers is going to slide up there and make a little bit of a block on Newman.
Kevin Hamlin, the 4 car. The first car 1 lap down.
So we watch this battle. Check in with Dave.
Matt Kenseth unable to finish today. Matt, what put you out?
I think we broke the valve, but we just struggled all day with our waste management car, really. We got a little bit better there at the end. I thought we made a couple adjustments to it, maybe finish in top 5, but just disappointed. This Busch thing's been tough this year. It's our last ride with the waste management car, so I thank all the employees and everybody at Waste Management for their support. It was just a tough day.
Thanks, Matt. Matt will run the next Cup race tomorrow, guys.
Saw Biffle take the spot away from Mark Martin.
And Vickers' car has been good, even though he's at the tail end of the lead lap now because he had to stop under green.
Yeah, it looks like his car really does like the clean air. He's very fast. Even if Newman passes him, he's still the lucky dog. But he's running out of laps.
41 to go.
Yeah, the problem is if he gets back on the... Oh, here we go. Carl Edwards, 60. Clint Boyer, 2, and John Wood, 47, trying to make it 3 wide.
This is back for 8th. Boyer's been going the wrong direction since the restart. Matt, how about Edwards?
Well, he restarted at the 7th position, Bill. So the balance wasn't bad. The problem, it just is so free at the beginning of a run. They made a wedge adjustment on the last stop, so he could try to not lose so much time. His lap times mirror the leaders later in the run, but he loses just so much track position.
Take a lap here on board with Boyer.
Rolls out the throttle, lets the car roll, 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 roll until he thinks he's got the car gripping, then he'll pick the throttle up.
Still there, clear.
See the 47 car of John Wood get a little bit loose in front of him.
And when he did, he had to back off the throttle, which allowed Clint Boyer to drive up right on the inside of him.
Lots of racetrack, though. This is why this place is so great. A lot of racetrack to race on, and we're seeing a lot of 3-wide racing, and that's great on a mile-and-a-half racetrack.
Oh, no trouble! Kevin Hamlin, the 4 car.
And Vickers gets his lap back.
Caution number 10. All right, check that. Caution number 8. There's the yellow flag.
Kevin's arm's going to be worn out.
Boy, it is.
Trying to see what happened. Looks like he prevented somebody else from wrecking.
Yeah.
Wrecked him.
Paid the price.
That's right. He was keeping that other guy straight, and the end result, he's in the wall.
Who was that?
Like Brent Sherman in 15.
There's Truex Jr., the championship leader in the 8. Gets through safely. So the caution is out. Ryan Newman leads. Truex holds on to the championship lead. Championship weekend here at Homestead Miami Speedway. Tonight, the Ford 300. Final race of the season for the NASCAR Busch Series, the race that will determine the 2006 Busch Series Championship. 2005. Very good. Thank you. Already looking ahead to next year. Here's our Just for Man hair color rejuvenating moment of the race. Lap 74.
The 18 car, J.J. Yaley, goes up, hits the wall, brings out the caution flag. Now, who that rejuvenated was the 8 car, because that got the 8 car, after he'd made an unscheduled pit stop, back on the lead lap and a chance to be the 2005 NASCAR Busch Series champion.
Very good, BP. And he stayed out, was at the tail end of the lead lap, fought for that position. The caution came out, and he got his break, got to come around. Now Truex Jr. runs 6th. We check with Dave.
And I'm with crew chief Gil Martin for the 2 car. Okay, did the real car guys come up with the right solution for Clint?
Well, we've been struggling with AC Delco Chevrolet tonight. We've been tight, we've been loose. We put a good setup under it right here. We're a little bit loose in the beginning, so I hope it'll be good at the end. But I'm really proud of all these guys. We got 30 laps to go. Anything can still happen, and we'll be there when it comes around.
All right, they've been trying to get him to run the high line too, but his seat sense seems to be saying, no, don't go there, Marty.
Roy McCauley is a crew chief for Ryan Newman. Car's very loose to start with. Who's got the better car on the long run, you or Greg Biffle?
I tell you what, the Alltel Dodge is pretty good, but I tell you, Biffle is very good. That team's done a great job. Our team's done a great job tonight, and I think on the long run we might be a little bit evenly matched. We struggled a little bit there at the start, but we got her going pretty good. Just want to thank Mobile and Sony as well. Great support from those guys, and Ryan's driving a heck of a race for sure.
It's the best way to not answer that question, but it's been fun to watch these 2 cars, hasn't it?
It sure has, Marty.
You know, this 88 car is Mark McFarland. He's currently running in the 19th position. The reason we show you this car, it is owned by Dale Earnhardt Jr. It's called Junior Motorsports, and he chose this young man to drive his car in 2006, full season on the NASCAR Busch Series.
He likes being that car on a roll, doesn't he?
And, you know, he realizes that he got a break. You know, he was Dale Earnhardt's son. He gets a break. He wants to go out and reach out and find someone and give them a break. Happened to be Mark McFarland.
We'll look forward to that in 2006. And while they come to get the green, want to congratulate Ted Musgrave, won the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Championship here this morning. Hub Bodine won the race. And Ted got the championship. Green flag is out. 34 to go.
I'll tell you what, this looks like it's going to be a great race between Newman, 39, Biffle, 66.
I think the 9 will be there at the end.
You think?
I think so. We'll see what happens.
Kevin Harvick currently in 4th. Paul Menard is 5th.
You with me, Alan?
Looking. I'm with you, Bill, because his car seems to hold its speed better later on a set of tires than a lot of other people's. They're going to have these tires on for a long time before the checkered flag.
Biffle made a run at Newman, but could not make the pass.
I think Biffle would like to get past Newman as fast as he can and try to put some distance between him and Newman.
He's got to run. He's alongside.
We've seen this today for many laps.
He knows Newman's going to be tough.
The 66 of Biffle and the 39 of Newman. They have been side by side for an endless number of laps today. For the lead, and Mark Martin right behind him, and Harvick is 4th. Truex Jr. has moved up 1 position to 5th. Boyer runs 11th.
4-car race right there.
They pulled away.
Harvick pulling up on the back of Mark Martin.
Oh, Mark's car didn't like that. The 9 car got a little bit loose, had to go up the hill to catch it, and here comes Harvick on the inside.
Mark's car didn't like it. I don't think Mark did either.
No. Tell you what, you don't like that at 150, 60 miles per hour, and all of a sudden that car wants to go sideways.
This is back in the field. Joe Nemechek in the 87 car.
Oh, he gets that thing loose and goes up. Does the pancakes the right side. Dave, what did he say?
That his car was a little bit loose up high, BP?
Oh, yeah.
Does that make sense? He said it's a lot better down low. Look for Joe. They use the low line now.
Said the car's loose and the wall's hard. That
rear bumper was a little bit loose on the 87 car.
Newman and Biffle. Or is it Biffle and Newman?
Biffle wants to pull that slide job on Newman, but he just is a little bit afraid to do it. Oh, no!
Not quite enough.
Not quite.
Biffle on the inside. It's Mark Martin in the 9. Kevin Harvick in the 21 with the CVS sponsorship.
Biffle's got a good run there.
He sure does. And he seems to get to 3 and 4 a little bit better than he does 1 and 2.
Oh, he just wiggled just a little.
But he might have enough to come up. Spotter, clear it. Yes, he did.
I think he was taking it whether the spotter cleared him or not on that one.
What were the guys talking about earlier in the race? How Biffle's tired of finishing second in some of these things?
How many times did he finish second? 6 or 7 times this year in the NASCAR Busch Series.
Harvick taking a look on the inside of Mark Martin.
Tried this a couple of laps ago. Mark fighting back.
Harvick had a pretty good run right there. Looks like Mark slid up the track a little bit in 4, and Harvick had a good run off of turn 4.
You know, Greg Biffle has finished second 7 times this year in the NASCAR Busch Series. He has 1 victory.
Yes.
But just for 7 second-place finishes, if you could turn those into victories.
That'll motivate you. Right now, Biffle's out front, looking for another victory. Live on TNT.
We're live with Greg Biffle's car as he seeks to hold off the challenge of Ryan Newman and take his second race victory of 2005. Join us in the forum on www.motorstv.co.uk. Your last chance to do so live this season. And Greg Biffle's last chance to add to that solitary race win for the year. It's had 20 top 10 finishes, plenty of second places, but just the 1 win. That would mean so much to him to head to victory lane in this, the 35th and final round of the season. When he's had time and space, he's looked consistently the fastest car on the circuit. Although Newman has actually led for more laps than Biffle, Newman has led for 65 to Biffle's 58. What matters is where you are at the end of the 200th lap. 23 laps to go. 23 laps standing between Greg Biffle and the race victory. And 23 laps standing between Martin Truex Jr. in the number 8 Chevrolet and the title. Truex Jr. currently 5th behind Harvick, Martin, Newman and Biffle. And then you have to go through the names of Paul Menard, David Green and John Wood before you reach Clint Bowyer, the number 2 Chevrolet, who is in 9th position at the moment as Biffle extends his lead by the lap. He's the fastest man on the circuit, nearly 171 miles per hour he's lapping at now. The lead up to nearly a second over Ryan Newman. The white 39 Dodge disappearing into the distance as we look out from the back of Biffle's car. That gap now up to over a second, I can confirm. The lap's ticking off, Biffle looking good, and Truex Jr. looking more than good for the title. Time for us to rejoin our TNT commentary team.
Greg Biffle trying to pull away from Ryan Newman and Mark Martin. And this a moment ago, Carl Edwards.
He got the right front pretty hard and the right rear, but he bent in the right front fender on that one.
He and Joe Nemechek running around the racetrack now. Both those guys have hit the wall in the last 10 laps or so.
Carl has fallen to 14th. And Biffle now a 1 second lead over Ryan Newman. 4th, and Martin Truex Jr. in 5th. And with 20 to go, an 81-point lead for Martin Truex Jr. We'll take our last green flag break and come back and take you to the checkers here at Homestead in the Ford 300. Greg Biffle, the race leader in the Ford 300, driving appropriately enough. Ford leads Ryan Newman in a Dodge by 1.2 seconds. Mark Martin third, Kevin Harvick fourth, and Martin Truex Jr., the championship leader, runs in 5th. Clint Boyer, second in the championship standings, runs in the 9th position.
And here comes Martin Truex Jr. in the 8 car. Alan, things looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, BP, now just the predictable coaching from Kevin Mannion, the crew chief, and Joey Meyer, the spotter, to take care of the car. They're in the position they need to be in. The laps are winding down. Just finish right now.
I think I'd let that 11 go.
I think I would too.
Paul Menard.
Menard's a little bit faster and they're running awfully close, and it's not a big deal points-wise, so just let him go ahead.
The problem is when you let the 11 go, now you got to let the 47 go because he's coming up behind you. But again, it's no big deal.
Yeah, I mean, you're on cruise right now. You know what you have to do. And he did point Paul Menard down on the low side going down the backstretch. And Vickers has moved up.
Vickers, a couple of laps down now in that 57 car on the inside. That gives Truex a little bit of room. There's Truex in 5th, looking for Boyer. Runs in 9th in the 2 car. Checking with Dave.
And Bill, he has said nothing on the radio. He just listens to the lap times being read to him by his crew chief. And Clint knows that this championship is slipping away from him. It actually slipped away over a month ago in Kansas when he finished 16th, and then in Charlotte when he finished 33rd. Lost a lot of ground to the 8 car. But it was also that weekend in Kansas, his home state, where it was announced that he would drive an Nextel Cup car for Richard Childress next year. That's the good news. The unfinished business will be this Busch Series championship in 2005.
A couple of wins in a strong season, some solid runs for Clint Boyer. Earned him a seat in the Nextel Cup Series in 2006.
That guy's moving on. Truex and the whole Bass Pro as a sponsor and the team going Cup racing.
And the 11 car of Menard did get by the 8 car of Truex Jr. Martin Truex back to 6th, but still.
10 laps to go. 10 this time. 5 back to the 47. He's running the bottom down here, 3 and 4.
It's a young lady in the middle, Teresa Earnhardt, the owner of the 8 car.
Watching from pit road. Allen.
Oh, Bill, winning a championship is one thing. Defending a championship is another whole story. And this week, Martin Truex Jr. has talked about the difficulties of 2005 because of the expectations. He said, so many people starting this season expected us to win this championship. And when the year didn't start out as well as we wanted it to, he did struggle in the first couple months of the season. Those expectations got very heavy. They turned it around with a late spring, early summer rally, took the championship lead at the end of June, and now we've spent the last 2 months trying to live up to those expectations and bring home back-to-back championship trophies.
And less than 9 laps away from it now, Allen. 6 wins for Truex. Trying to become the 4th driver to win back-to-back NASCAR Busch Series championships. Not missing anything up front. Biffle now almost 2 seconds ahead of Ryan Newman.
Today have overcome a lot. That's really amazing. To start in a backup car, go through everything they've gone through today and win a championship.
Qualifying was held here at 11 o'clock this morning. Truex, one of the early cars out, lost the handle, put it into the wall. So the team got out the backup car. The car started the race with no laps on it. Now the caution will come out for the 15 car. It has been an adventurous day for Brent Sherman.
There we go. I was going to say, the only thing holding that thing on the racetrack was the fender. Looks like the wheel might have broken.
Looks like Kurt Busch from a year ago, only with more damage. So the caution is out. 9th caution of the day here at Homestead. Greg Biffle is the race leader. 6 laps to go.
So our 9th caution with just 6 laps to go at the Homestead Miami Speedway. Will that be our last caution of the 2005 season? It really should be. Brent Sherman in all sorts of problems. And of course, with the pace car out, that will allow Ryan Newman to close up the gap, which had stood at nearly 2 seconds to Greg Biffle. Martin Truex Jr. won't really mind this. It helps to tick away a couple of laps, helps him recompose. He knows he's just a few minutes away from being crowned the 2005 champion. Please carry on sending in your comments to the forum on www.motorstv.co.uk. Plenty of you staying up late in Britain and all over the world watching our coverage, our live coverage of the 35th and final NASCAR Busch Series race of the season, the Ford 300 from the Homestead Miami Speedway. Greg Biffle, the race leader from Ryan Newman. Martin Truex Jr. currently stands in 7th position, 2 places clear of Clint Bowyer. Way more than enough to clinch the title. Top 12 would have been good enough for Truex Jr. no matter what Clint Bowyer did. And 7th is certainly good enough. Earlier on this evening, he told his pit crew he wanted to go all out for the race win. That had to change after problems with his tyres. But he's flown up through the field on 2 occasions. He had to start right at the back, remember, after slamming into a wall in qualifying earlier today. Using the spare car, a spare car he'd never even tested. And yet, before too long, he stood 5th. Then he dropped to nearly 30th and has now worked his way up, all the way back up to 7th. To the delight of Teresa Earnhardt, who we saw just a minute or 2 ago on screen, the owner of the number 8 car. Back-to-back titles on the cards for Martin Truex Jr. On a clear night in Florida, it's clear who has been the best driver all season long, and it's Martin Truex Jr.
TNT Sports live at the Homestead Miami Speedway in Homestead, Florida. The Ford 300, and for the first time, the Busch Series under the lights here at Homestead. And tomorrow night, the Nextel Cup race will end under the lights over on NBC, and our coverage begins at 3 Eastern time tomorrow with the Bank of America Countdown to Green. 4 drivers chasing the championship, led by Tony Stewart. Here is today's ExxonMobil Command performance of the race, and we're just going to give it to the 8 crew for their performance today. A backup car starting at the back of the field, had to pit under green, came back out, used pit strategy to stay at the tail end of the lead lap, caught a caution, got back on the lead lap, and now running 7th with 5 laps to go. And the championship trophy waiting at the finish line. Our ExxonMobil Command performance of the race.
Well, they definitely get my vote, what Truex Jr. and the crew has done.
This is when Martin Truex's day began in qualifying. Said it was just too loose. So that car is done. They got out a backup car. And at one point, one of our guys down there counted about 22 crewmen from various teams working on that backup car. Look where it is now, 7th, Alan.
Well, Bill, most every young man that gets into racing gets into it with the influence of a family member. That is Martin Truex Sr., a very successful, long-time short-track racer in their native New Jersey, who then ventured out onto the NASCAR Busch North Series. He's about to watch his son win a 2nd straight big league NASCAR championship. Martin is in the commercial seafood business. They call him the Clam King. Martin Jr. had a little bit of time working on some of Dad's boats. He said, you know, I worked on a fishing boat just long enough to know I'd better get good at something else. Maybe that racing thing's for me.
Yeah. Did not want to follow Father's footsteps.
Oh, man. New Jersey boy makes good.
But his dad and his uncle, they're see Teresa watching. Taylor Nicole, their daughter. Teresa's daughter, sitting beside of her. Dave Boyer didn't quite make it this year.
No, but he's not quite done, BP. They did tell him you never know what can happen. You need to drive hard at this restart. People are on cold tires. You might have a quicker car. Take that 27 and then go after the 8. Now, he needs a lot more points than just passing Martin Truex, but he's not giving up yet.
Can never give up, Dave. You're right. 72 points back. 3 to go when they get the green. Single file restart. And up front, Biffle's wondering what Newman's got left. Mark Martin right behind him, then Harvick.
Arlington half, right?
Good restart for Biffle.
And I tell you what, Harvick on the inside of Mark Martin.
Mark tried to move over for the block, could not get there. Newman high on Biffle for the lead.
Look at Newman go. What a run he got.
Oh, my. Ryan Newman, who has led 64 laps so far today, wants to lead the last 3.
I don't know if Biffle can catch him. That 39 car incredibly fast now.
Oh, it's just like he was playing with him. 2 to go.
I know what Biffle does not want to run second. And here he comes back.
Well, they were door to door for a good portion of this race. They could finish that way.
Well, Biffle's going to drive in deep here. And hope
that it sticks. If it doesn't stick, shame on both of them.
Last lap. This is for the win. The race win. Truex is 7th, Boyer is 8th in the championship battle. Final lap of the season for the NASCAR Busch Series. A couple of Nextel Cup regulars battling it out up front. Bill's going to get one more run here, guys.
He just can't get close enough to him, Bill.
Running low. You're clear. Running low on your corner.
Couldn't get there. Newman pulls him off of 4. Ryan Newman wins at Homestead, and Martin Truex Jr. goes back-to-back in the championship race.
Ryan Newman, you are the man.
Yeah, Newman. Snookered.
How many times did you say Biffle's finished second?
8 now.
Okay, thank you.
It was a long day, but it was a long year. We overcame a lot. I'm really proud for you sticking with me. I know I was a pain in the ass sometimes, but thank you very much. This is awesome.
Hey, good job, Truex. Hello, you copy?
Miss T there, Martin, if you're here. That's your Miss T, it's your boss saying hey. Thank you. Appreciate it. Where do I go? Can I celebrate a little bit? Yeah, you need to come down the front stretch. Come down the front stretch here. Watch the 39, and they want you to...
So he gets congratulations from Teresa Earnhardt. Ryan Newman wins, and the winner of today's NASCAR Busch Series race is presented the Reese's Big Cup.
You know what Newman is? He's figured out how to do those donuts.
And here's a congratulatory wave. And there's your 2005 NASCAR Busch Series champion, Martin Truex Jr. Let's check in with Alan.
All right, I'm trying to make my way up here, and there's people trying to come down. Teresa and Taylor Nicole want to get down, and I think we'll get Kevin down here, too, to talk to him. About to celebrate back-to-back championships in the NASCAR Busch Series. You know, here's a guy who, for about the last month and a half, has just looked like sometimes he's had the weight of the world on his shoulders, and I like the size of that smile now. About this last month and a half have been kind of long for you, haven't they? Congratulations.
Well, I first... first want to start out by thanking God, man. We prayed so hard today. All these guys, Jim Cody, Mastersmen, taught us a lot, but it's making us better people. And I'm glad Martin points raced today. Did you notice that? How easy he was going, 4 wide, in the fence. I told him today, you know, he wrecked that backup car, and I told him we had his favorite car in the truck, and shame on me for not bringing it here. And I was just afraid to free him up there at the end. He's begging to free it up. But I knew we could run 65 laps. We went 55 laps there and just get that tight. We just took a little wedge out and a little air pressure. I need to get the rubbers out of the left rear, but I was just afraid of getting too loose in, and he was already loose. And I think we could have won the race, but that was about the first time in 2 years I points raced, was that last little bit there. But great day for this Chance 2 deal.
Back-to-back titles. Go celebrate with your team. We'll see you down there. Dave?
Alan with Clint Boyer right now. Clint, it just looked today like you didn't have a race car that you could contend with the Truex group and everybody else today.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I mean, that's probably our worst race all year, you know, and just came at the wrong time. But, you know, I'm really proud of everybody at RCR for getting us good race cars, everybody on board, Snap-on, you know, Timberland Pro, AC Delco, Chevrolet. Saw the people that have helped, Gil Martin and all these guys, all their families. It's been a long year, and we've all been working really hard, and just really proud of everybody.
Richard Childress said, and he steps in right now, I heard Richard on the radio saying he's proud to have you as one of his drivers. Richard, how about this guy working for the championship, coming up a little bit short?
Well, he drove like a champion. We're really proud of him, proud of that whole AC Delco team. And, you know, what can you say? These guys gave it their all, and, man, I'm proud of them.
We can say good luck in the next Hell Cup Series next year.
Yeah, it's going to be big. I'm excited.
All right, Clint Boyer finishes outside of the championship today.
Thanks, Dave. The 8 bunch headed to celebrate. There they were on the wall.
I mean, these are grown people, but you know what? They're about to hurt each other down there, trying to celebrate.
But you cannot underscore how hard they worked to get here, and they deserve the celebration today. Let's go down to victory lane.
What a second half of the Busch Series season for Ryan Newman and this 39 bunch. In their last 7 races, that is 6 wins. Unbelievable. Tell me about that pass on Greg Biffle on the outside.
That was a lot of fun. I got to thank Biff for racing me clean. Congratulate Martin on a great championship. This All-Tel Dodge was awesome. I mean, we had a little racing luck there at the end, but that was all it took. And just a good restart for us. And Biff was coming at the end, but just got to thank Roy and everybody at Penske Racing for all the things they've done with this program, this Busch program. It's been a lot of fun, and just thank you.
This race team started in May. You've run 9 races, and you have 6 wins, Ryan.
It's a great effort by everybody at Penske. That's the best thing I can say. I mean, Roy McCauley's leading this team here at the racetrack, but there's a lot of people, Roger Penske, Don Miller, that I owe thanks to, my dad spotting, and just everybody's been great. Penske Jasper engines have been pretty stout down the straightaway.
Your dad was spotting and very emotional on the radio afterwards, too.
Yeah, Roy got a good...
He got a good shower up there.
Dad was very emotional, but it was for the right reasons.
This is a great scene. This team plans on running 20 races next year. By my calculations, Bill, by that percentage, they should win, what, 15, 16 next year?
You never know. You never know. The crew congratulating the 2005 NASCAR Busch Series champion Martin Truex Jr. Began his racing career in go-karts, moved to modifieds in the late 90s. NASCAR Busch North Series. And now has back-to-back championships in the NASCAR Busch Series. At one point was not even a threat for the championship this season. As Alan talked about earlier, as the season went along, driver got better, cars got better, finishes got better, and a strong run in the second half of the season. 6 wins this year and the 2005 championship. Alan, you're going to need a really big towel.
Yeah. I think they got all the sponsor beverages covered in that shower, too. Going to get the victory hug. You ready? What was that you just said again?
Thank God it's over. Man, we could not do anything right for the past 2 months, and I'm just glad it's over. This is awesome.
Martin, tell me about your day. First of all, from this morning right through the end of the race, you rode a roller coaster pretty hard. How was it on you? There's Kevin Mannion. How was the day on you?
It was tough, you know, but what can you do? You know, it was a tough break in qualifying. Our car I knew it was going to be loose, just never thought for a second that it would be just that bad. And I went out there.
Clint Boyer, his rival, and for a little sportsmanship.
Man, I knew it was going to be loose this morning, but I never thought for a second it'd be that bad. And I just went in the corner and never had a chance to save it. And I just got to thank all these guys and everybody at DEI. They hustled through a car together. This is one of my favorite cars. And, you know, the 18, the 15 team, all them guys were in there hustling. And just got to thank them for that. I look forward to the future. All them guys are awesome. And, man, it's been a rough year. Up and down and up and down. And it seemed like we were, you know, there was somebody that didn't want us to win this thing. And we were just too strong of a team to let it happen.
You talked about the word expectations, making this championship harder to win than last year's. Explain that.
Well, it's a lot harder. You know, everybody in the wintertime, you know, said we needed to win the thing and we were going to run away with it. And, you know, in a way, it got to us too. You know, we weren't ready for this year when it started, and we found ourselves way behind. We were, you know, 400 points out in 10th at one time, I think. And, you know, we just, we said, let's go home and build new cars and try to win some races. We never thought we could win the thing. And the next thing you know, we're knocking on the door and winning races and finishing in the top 3 every week. And we got the points lead, and we had a good lead, and everything was going good. And then all of a sudden, just everything went upside down, and we could run second and get a flat, or we could, you know, just countless things kept happening to us. And, you know, we weren't finishing where we were running, and sometimes we weren't even running that good, and it's just frustrating. But, you know, we all stuck together as a team. And it shows today. I couldn't be prouder. This thing is 3 times as hard to win as it was last year, and I'm 3 times more proud of all these guys here.
All right, we're going to let you dry off for a second and get you up on the stage for the trophy presentation with your teammates. Back-to-back championships for Martin Truex Jr.
Thanks, Alan. Here are the unofficial championship standings at the conclusion of the 2005 season. After the 9th race of the year at Phoenix, Martin Truex Jr. was 348 points behind the leader. We'll come back to Homestead Miami Speedway for the trophy presentation for 2005 NASCAR Busch Series champion, Martin Truex Jr.